The stories you are about to hear are true, at least so you're told. So get comfortable, grab a glass of iced tea, and prepare yourselves for Tales from the Front Porch.
Hello, Dave.
Oh, wow, there's echo. Echo. Yes.
So, anyway,
Into or something. There we go. Much better. So, sick boy,
I'm not sick anymore.
I can still hear. Your throat's still not quite right.
Well, it's still swollen shut. I was going to tell you, you need to project because they can't hear you on the video. So I like to talk into the mic, like I use my theater voice.
Right.
You like to talk to the camera and then... So I'm going to give you some on-air notes, so hopefully it sticks.
Alrighty.
So,
Yeah, I doubt it. I'm old. I forget.
What?
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
What?
So anyways,
So
we're recording on a Wednesday.
What is this thing?
It's a Minion.
No, I know it's a Minion. All right.
From just
It's made from a 3D printer.
It is 3D
Okay.
printed.
Gotcha.
I designed it.
Sorry.
Isn't it cute?
Not that I'm easily distracted or anything.
Apparently not. It's a ring box, see? Oh, crap. I glued it closed. Apparently I got something to do this afternoon. Yeah, wow. Huh? I glued that bad boy closed.
Alrighty.
It's a magically opening ring box.
Right.
No, that's one of the projects I'm working on right now.
Okay.
As well as some... these are also 3D printed.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Oh, really?
yeah. Yeah, these are from World of Warcraft.
They look like Dave and Paul.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So, do you know Dave and Paul's in the Netherlands right now?
Oh, really? No, I did not know that.
Have you not been looking at our own Instagram account?
So I saw Instagram, but the last picture I saw, they were at the airport.
Okay. The other pictures apparently have not made it on there yet. So we have received 5 or 6 photos already from the Netherlands of
Very
us
cool.
exploring. Or no, not the Netherlands. No, we're in Barcelona. Where the hell are we? We're
Across the pond.
We're in Barcelona. That's where we're
Barcelona.
at. We're in Spain.
All right, Spain, Netherlands. It's
Not even close.
They all wear wooden shoes.
No, not at all. So yeah, we're out there.
Is that Pamela? That's
Yeah, it's Pam.
All right.
Pamela, who's that? Well, because we were emailing back and forth. And so she's Pamela on the email. And this is Pam when I'm replying. So anyways, but yeah, so she is sending us images through our talesfromfrontporch@gmail.com email. And then we're posting them to Instagram. She asked, would that be better than just us tagging you in it? I'm like, you can tag us, but then we can, if we have the photo, we can post it rather than just like reposting.
Right.
So that way it shows up permanently on our feed. So
Very cool.
yeah, some nice adventures of our little figures off on a European vacation.
awesome. Much better than the I-80 truck stop.
Well, yeah, little, but hey, some people like that.
Right.
We had another fan who was all excited about the I-80 truck stop photo and asked if we would be able to get her one for her bus.
For her bus, yes, and her bus has its own Facebook page.
Does it really?
It does.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
we'll be like fans on a fan.
Yeah, and that is so. Since we mentioned that,
Of course.
I made note of that. That's Leah. She's in Ontario. Yeah. So her comment to the I-80 truck stop. By the way, the I-80 truck stop got more likes than the James Dean Tombstone and the Indy Speedway, Indy 500.
That's funny.
Yeah. Now maybe it's because it was the first one.
Probably.
Yeah. So Leah says, haha, I need one of these for my bus, in my bus. I'll take Dave and Paul everywhere my bus trips take me, like me. It's Delilah the Wonder Bus. It's a Volkswagen bus. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then her other comment, she commented on each of the pictures. She goes, I need my own Dave and Paul figure. So random and awesome. That was, I believe, on... James Dean, and then for the American Pickers, because he stopped at the Antique Archaeology, and she says, American Pickers, sweet, love that show. So on James Dean, she said that would have been cool to tap into his energy. Very swank. She thinks it's very swank.
Cool.
So there you go.
Yeah.
No, but since I'm talking likes and all that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, shut up.
Format.
Right. So, and actually, I only recorded one other one, and that's from whoever the person is who is better known as Kaveh Khanum. So,
you actually looked it up, the actual pronunciation there?
No, that's just my pronunciation.
Oh, okay.
Do you know if that's right or not?
No.
Okay.
I did not go to Catholic school.
I may pronounce it differently the next time they hit like. Catholic school, right?
That's where they teach you Latin, right?
Yes, that and
Not Hebrew school. They
No.
teach you Hebrew.
who are the people that do prescriptions? Yeah.
Doctors.
Okay. Well, I was thinking the
Pharmacists?
pharmacy. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Pharmacist. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, you just take the P out of pharmacist and you become a pharmacist.
The hell is a pharmacist?
I don't know, but if you ever need a prescription from a pharmacist, you've done something wrong.
God.
So my wife
You're
and I
still
are
not
talking
feeling
about
well,
this.
are you?
No, not at all. So yeah. So I have had, or am recovering from, I guess would be strep throat
Right.
again, third time this year, which just blows my mind because I haven't had it since I was a child. So I don't know what the hell's going on. My kids are slowly trying to kill me. Either that or my cat.
So you are getting it from the kids?
We don't know because my kids don't have it.
Oh. Well, kids are a breeding ground. I mean,
Right. They're just germ factories. That's why we breed them.
Right. Just like the schools they attend.
Yeah, and so, yeah, but my cat, my oldest cat, Monkey, every night likes to snuggle, which is fine. You know, we talk about cats and their sleeping habits and whatnot.
Sure.
Often on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And, but his newest thing, and this just happened last 3-4 months, is that right before he goes to sleep, he'll either crawl up by my head and stick his paw in my mouth, or he rubs his, you know how they do that rubbing their head thing
Right.
on you?
Right.
But he rubs his open mouth in my nose. And I'm like, but that cat's got a sneeze and a like horrible, like, I think it's allergies or something. And I'm like, what if that cat's got strep?
So yeah. So by the way, you know where that paw has been.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Oh yeah.
And he licks his butt. So there's that.
Your cat still lick you, so
The
your big old bald spot there.
yeah, that's the back of my head, not my mouth or my nose. But
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, I think I talked last week about taking. So one of the cats had a sneeze. It's a virus, and they said, yeah, okay, so they weren't going to treat it. They thought it was okay, nothing else showing. Well, now the second cat is sneezing.
Yeah.
So I know that he's caught it. I have no idea if that's contagious. Can I get whatever it is they've got? Now, it's not, so I'll be sitting there reading at the table, and Noel, the boy with the girl's name,
Yeah.
will sit there because he likes to sit there while I read, and then big sneeze, and there's the cat spit all over my book. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
that's the time I pick him up and toss his butt off the table. God.
Gotta love it.
Right.
No.
Because apparently his little sphincter sitting on the table isn't disturbing enough.
Your infatuation with sphincters. Speaking of,
Yes.
so
Don't point to me when you say sphincter. That's not nice.
so I wear an Apple Watch.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. You know, I'm a tech guy,
Yeah.
as we are well
It is.
aware.
It's rumored.
Yeah. One of the things that Apple Watch does is it lets you know when you've achieved certain goals throughout your day. It's a way of being like a fitness guide. One of the things that tells you it's time to stand, you lazy bastard.
Right.
I wish it was more sarcastic because then it would get me more motivated, but it's not.
I would just laugh and not do it anyway.
Right. Well, but if you meet your goals, it sends you this like da da da, and then you look at your watch and it says goal achieved. And so there's the standing, there's movement, and there is activity. So yesterday I got a da 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 da, and I looked down at my watch, and it was my movement goal was achieved while wiping.
Oh, nice. Wow. And thanks for that visual. God.
So that was a movement-based movement achievement.
Wow.
I just thought it was, I'm like, there's a joke in there somewhere, but it knows too much. I'm a very vigorous. No, I don't know.
Yeah. And wouldn't that be something if whenever you achieve some goal or whatever, what is it? A goal?
It's a goal.
Okay. That it automatically turns on the webcam to catch your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
What the?
No camera on this thing, thank goodness. So. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Right.
Well,
So no, I've been on like death's door for like the last 3 days, which is why we didn't record yesterday. Didn't have a voice yesterday. I was feeling slightly better, but 2 nights ago I took a NyQuil, and because my wife's like, take a NyQuil. I'm tired. Okay, so I've had a fever for 4 days.
Now, do you sleep apart when you're like this, just so that she
No.
doesn't get it?
No.
Uh,
Well, contagious is only contagious if you come into contact with the things we're not breeding while we're doing this, you know. She just, and we have a king size bed. I can reach over and not touch her, so
Right.
we're fine. And usually there's a small child between us that can get sick instead.
Nice. Sacrifice the kid.
That's right. That's what they're for.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I went to bed the first night, and then went to bed at 5:30 on Sunday in the afternoon.
Oh, okay.
As my wife is like, "You need to go to bed." I'm like, "Okay." As I'm hunched down, fetal position, I was wearing a sweatshirt and my winter coat inside.
Oh, wow.
And so then I go to bed, and I have an electric blanket in my bed as well, because for the winter and whatnot, and
Right.
a feather duvet. And I'm laying in bed. It's on high. I'm in it, and I sleep, and I fell asleep, and it was so cold, and whatever, you know, fever, whatnot. And so then I wake up at 11 o'clock, come downstairs, had to do some work.
11 o'clock that night?
Yeah, so
Okay.
from 5:30 to 11 o'clock.
All right.
Came down here, did some work till about 12:30, then went back upstairs, slept for until 3, and then was just kind of like miserable and awake and whatever from like 3 till 6:30 or whatnot. And then I managed my way through Monday, which was just a wreck. Went to the doctors and whatnot. And then Tuesday or Monday night, I took NyQuil, and my wife's like, "I'm just starting to take the damn thing." I'm like, "Okay," because I was so restless the night before.
Sure.
And I took the NyQuil, and I slept really well, but I woke up about 4:30, which is pretty typical for me. I went to bed at 8, which is typically I go to bed at midnight. So to go to sleep that early is way atypical for me, and I only need about 6 hours of sleep typically. But when I'm sick, you know, whatever. So I go to bed at 8, and I wake up at about 4, and
So
I'm like,
you're waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
yeah. So
All
I'm
right.
like, why is the bed so uncomfortable? And I get out, and shuffle around, go get a glass of water because I'm just absolutely parched.
Okay.
Go to climb back into the bed, and the bed is wet.
So I knew you were going to, yeah.
It is just like, not just, it's moist, but like wringing out wet. And I'm like,
And nice and cold now, too.
yeah, but I'm like, did I pee the bed and didn't know it? And then I'm like, no, because it's in the perfect outline of a human body. I had sweat so bad,
Right.
top and bottom. Like, apparently the fever broke.
I'm guessing.
And, but it was so bad, I'm like, I couldn't get back into
Whoa,
bed.
that's disgusting.
Well, right.
Right.
But my wife is sound asleep, and the baby's in the bed. And so I'm like, how do I, what do I do? Towels.
Yes,
Towels.
yes.
And I'm like, okay. So then I wake up the next day, and I'm like, you know, obviously we're going to change sheets. Thank goodness we have a waterproof mattress pad. Yay for small children.
Right.
So then, and notoriously, I am one of those kids, even when I was little, when I go to like sleepover and stuff, about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, my body goes like cold-blooded. Yeah, I become freezing cold, no matter where I'm at. Doesn't matter time of year or anything like that. 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I am freezing my ass off. And so I'm a guy who has to have blankets. My wife is like, you're crazy. Middle of the summer, I'm like, I need something heavier than this. Like, when I'm an old guy and I'm dying in the hospital, just have them bring me the lead apron that you use for x-rays to keep me warm.
Right.
Okay? I'm like, I don't care. And so last night, I'm like, fever's broke. I felt fine all day. Didn't take a DayQuil. Didn't do nothing. Go to bed. No electric heater on the blanket, anything like that. Just crawl into bed. Have the feather duvet on, whatnot. Babies screaming at 2 o'clock in the morning. Lindsay goes, grabs him from his bed, brings him in. That's typical routine. Puts him in the middle of our bed. And I wake up and I'm like, why is the bed wet again?
Oh, no.
And I reach up and it is dripping off of me.
Oh.
I am sweating. And I'm like,
Wait, it's you, not the baby.
it's me.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, Linz, touch my arm. And she's like, why are you all wet? And I'm like, I have no fucking clue. I'm like, apparently I metamorphosed during this last sickness that apparently I don't get cold at 3 o'clock in the morning. I sweat profusely. So now I'm like, I can't have no blankets on me. I don't get it. Whatever. So, yay for
That wouldn't be disgusting at all.
to wake up soaking wet
Yes.
every single day.
Wow.
It's freaking unnerving is what it is. And I'm like, my voice, what you hear is I am dehydrated. I drink probably like 96 ounces of water a day. And I'm still...
And apparently sweated out in your bed at night.
Apparently. Most old guys get up to pee in the middle of the night. I just leak it out my pores, apparently. So yeah, so that's been my weekend.
Well, thanks for that.
Well, I just like to share.
Uh-huh.
That's why I do podcasts.
Right.
People out there want to know these things, Dave.
Mhm.
Not at all.
Right.
How's your weekend?
Gosh. Don't know if I have anything to compare to that. Yeah.
You always say that after I do my weekend first.
Well, so yeah, I mean, if I ever wake up, my bed's wet, I know I'm not sweating. So, but I haven't gotten to that age yet. So I went to go see.
Trust me, I
go ahead.
sniffed the blankets.
The
I totally did.
right,
I'm like,
right. Went to go see 10 Cloverfield Lane.
oh, what'd you think of that? I haven't seen it yet, so no spoilers.
No spoilers.
I really want to see it.
You.
Good or not good? That's all you have to say.
I think you can wait for the DVD.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
I'll say I liked it, but not enough to own the DVD. That's my rating system.
Okay,
when I buy the
yeah,
DVD.
I know that Dave rating there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
Worth watching, but not owning.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much my take on Batman versus Superman.
And it's.
I just saw that yesterday.
So. Yeah. So is it Superman's the bad guy?
No, they're neither of them are the bad.
Oh, I
guy.
thought somebody said Superman's the bad guy.
So,
They just don't like each other.
no.
Can't we all just get along? I don't.
Here's my take on it. Okay, in theater, in acting,
Sure.
they have an expression that is given to a lot of new actors when they're doing a scene in which you must become angry. You can't play it all at one level. It's like when you're in a fight with a woman. If she's screaming the entire time, eventually you just kind of tune her out.
Right.
But when a woman starts to whisper, you're like, oh fuck, what?
Better pay attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something's going on. Because you can't play it all at one level.
Sure.
When you play it all at one level, you just meh. And that was what the movie felt like to me.
Oh, okay.
It started at one level and it just stayed there. And there's no ups and downs. And so I like all the characters. The only one I didn't understand is Jesse Eisenberg as the Joker. I didn't get that. He plays Lex Luthor as Heath Ledger as the Joker. Really interesting take
So
on that.
wait for the DVD.
Yeah, wait for the R-rated DVD. I'm curious about that just to see, because I'm like, maybe there's some levels in the R-rated version.
Wait, there's a different version?
Yeah, because the movie's PG-13, and then they're like, then Deadpool came out, and they're like, we're gonna release the R-rated version too.
Okay.
They might even do the R-rated version in theaters now because it's not making any money. Only made $700 million, so not enough.
Time to can it.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I see where it's coming from. I thought, I like superheroes. I kind of was excited about this one. I haven't seen the last two Avenger movies just because I'm like, But this one I'm like, all right, I'll go see this one, the kind of the start of the Super Friends.
So there's another. It's not an Avenger movie, but the Avengers are in it because it's a
Civil
Captain
War.
America. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I'd still like to see that, although I did not see the last Avenger movie.
Yeah.
I like them, but just last night I'm sitting there because I always record Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Last night I decided, so I was getting behind. I had like 3 on the DVR, and I'm like, I think I'm done. And I deleted them, and I stopped the recording.
Yeah.
And they're good. I like the characters, like all that. But I'm like, yeah, I think I got my fill. Just
Yeah, it's yeah.
yeah. So and I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I like Deadpool so much. That one I'll own. I loved it. Loved Deadpool. Loved it because it's not your standard
Right.
superhero.
It's just a fun movie. It didn't have to
It
even
was.
be about a superhero. It's just a fun movie.
Right.
And you're like, okay, that was funny. I laughed. It was action. It was like it was a heist movie, which every guy loves a heist movie.
And then you get the stop action. And he stops and he looks at you.
Yeah.
He brings you into
Breaks the
loved
fourth
it.
wall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know.
So I'm not going to give it. I don't think this gives anything away.
Yeah.
But if you saw Cloverfield,
Uh-huh.
this is nothing like that.
I know, but
Okay.
see, the director said that the reason it's he wants to approach Cloverfield as though Cloverfield is the new Twilight Zone or Forbidden Zone or whatever, Forbidden Planet, whatever.
But the only thing in common is the name.
Yes, and so they're like
Okay.
these. Well, it's much like the Twilight Zone. There was nothing in common between all the stories except that something weird was happening.
Sure.
And so that's kind of the branding that he's trying to get is the new J.J. Abrams, Bad Robot, Cloverfield. You're gonna get a weird
Sure.
movie.
Right.
So, because this movie was, it was originally called, what is it? What are those things called in the ground? The Cellar, I think is what it was called. The Cellar.
Okay. Or Fallout, because they're in a Fallout
Shelter. Yeah, but I think they called it The Cellar or something like that.
Okay.
And that was the working title. And it wasn't until they dropped that's why when you're watching the preview it says 10 Cloverfield. You know, that was the first time they dropped it, and everybody's like, Cloverfield? What the fuck? You know, and they expected it to be a continuation. And they're like, no, let us clarify. It's in that genre
Sure.
type of thing. So I'm just glad it's not shaky cam, because for frick's sake, man,
Right.
that found footage camera bullshit just needs that genre just needs to disappear. Not a fan.
Blair Witch meets Aliens.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually liked Cloverfield, but that's one of those movies I couldn't see in 3D because I would need a barf bag.
Right.
So, are we good?
Yeah. I just I'd be really curious to see if somebody could like take image stabilization to that movie to then see what it would to like watch it then, and you're like, oh, that is really kind of boring.
Right.
You know, it's the movement that actually brings something to the show.
Sure.
So, anyways. So, besides watching 10 Cloverfield Lane,
Yes. Something just as exciting.
it was at a date.
No, it was my son Brian.
Oh, okay.
So-
Definitely not a date.
The thing that kind of made that real fun at the end, he was wearing a pager this weekend, and
He's dressed up as the 90s.
you know, he's an IT guy, so they have to wear pagers. So
Yeah, that's the IT guys. They're so far behind the times.
I know. I don't know why they that must be the most economical. Instead of we'll give
Right.
you a call on your cell phone that everybody's got the number to, we'll go ahead and give you a pager.
Well, text the pager
The
or text your cell phone.
text your
Yep.
I don't
whatever. I know.
It's Mutual of Omaha. I don't know.
Yeah.
So after the movie, and I didn't know he was
On call.
on call. We're walking out through the lobby. He stops. He turns on me, and he starts heading back. So I'm going back in.
Oh, left his pager.
So he's dropped it somewhere, and now he's looking. So we're scouring the floor all the way up. We get back to where we were sitting. The lights were on, but I grab my cell phone, turn on the flashlight app. I'm crawling on the theater floor.
Oh,
Yeah. And so they got the lazy boy type seats. We cranked that up. I'm looking underneath. There's the popcorn, the M&Ms, and everything else that's disgusting underneath those seats. Kind of looking around to see there's no beeper. So we go
you
back
called
in.
it a beeper.
Pager, shut up. Yeah, it's kind of like your cat. Is it buttons
Right.
or boots? You know, it's both. I said, well, instead of checking, maybe somebody's found it and turned it in. But he said, let's check the car first because that makes more sense, right? Go completely out of the building and then come back.
Right.
But that's what it was. It was in the car.
Of
It had
course.
fallen out in the car seat when he got out.
That's better.
So it's absolutely it's better.
Except now you're covered in the filth of the floor of the theater.
Exactly. Nothing like
Yummy.
crawling around and using a theater. Maybe
You thought the
girls-
wet sheets were gross.
Yes. Wow. Yeah. So did that. For the weekend, I mean, that's pretty much it. Spent most of Saturday with my friend.
Yeah.
So it's fun, but we can't talk about that. And I don't know, stop shaking your head. So the thing for me actually wasn't this past weekend. It's tonight. I start my next improv class tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
Yay.
So, and it is M. Michelle Phillips that's teaching it.
Wonderful.
So I am looking forward to that because she's good.
Yeah.
So
She's a hoot.
I think so. You tell me. Here's your thought. So in any class like that, you've got to stand up in front of class and say who you are, what you do, just kind of an intro, right?
Yep.
So I thought I would tell them that I'm an exotic dancer.
I would go something a little bit more believable, Dave.
So to that, an exotic dancer for retirement communities.
Still,
Not good, huh?
no. I mean, I mean, if you're gonna go with
Sure.
a bold lie,
Right.
I mean, are you just trying to go for laughs, or do you want to?
I want to see the look on their face. I'm like, oh my god. I mean, I would then turn around and say, yeah, I'm just kidding, and tell them that I work at Stratcom, blah blah blah.
Well, then
But
they're not gonna buy that in the first place
Okay.
because you're in a comedy class.
But it's first night. And my recollection of the first night, nobody wants to get up there. We're all nervous.
Okay.
We're not. It's not like we're seasoned
Well, then just go
professionals.
ahead and do that. You could say that you're the host of of your own show.
I know, but that's the real part, the co-host thing, as opposed to something that where
for a internationally syndicated. No, we're not syndicated.
We're not syndicated, but it is international. So
It
there's
is.
that. And so yes, I mean obviously I would include the podcast as part of my.
You better. We need those extra 4 people.
That's right. Right.
Right.
We're still looking for listeners in Moscow. So
Hey, all my Moscow friends.
that's
so,
right.
You know.
All right.
One thing I didn't mention is the shirt that I'm wearing today.
Let's take a look here. Oh,
I went and saw Jethro Tull.
that's right. So that's yeah. So we mentioned that last week's podcast
Oh yeah.
and the T-shirt story.
Oh yeah.
That's-
Well, I talked to you about the T-shirt story, but I didn't actually talk to the podcast about.
Oh, I thought you did.
No,
Okay.
because we hadn't gotten the show yet.
As of last Tuesday.
Yeah, because the show was Wednesday.
Okay.
So I talked to you after.
But we called. Oh, because you were talking about. That's what it was. You were talking about in future tense. I'll just shut up and sit here. You go ahead and tell your little story, Paul.
So I went and saw Jethro Tull
Jethro Tull.
as the rock opera produced by Ian Anderson, who, for those of you who know, is Jethro Tull.
This was outside the podcast. I remember.
So,
Go ahead.
so I guess a year ago, Ian Anderson went to, I want to say Norway, but could have been the Netherlands,
Could have been Barcelona.
but could have been Barcelona. No, I know it was, no, actually, because I said before, it was where Bjork is from. It is Iceland. Okay, so it is Iceland.
It's all the same over there.
It's right. It's cold and it's north.
That's
It's
right.
actually not cold. Okay. Iceland is green. Greenland is ice. Anyways. So he went there to produce a rock opera with his music. Kind of like they did with the Billy Joel music. They created a musical based on his music.
Mm-hmm.
They've done it with the Beatles. They've done, they create these like shows incorporating their music.
Jersey Boys.
Huh?
Jersey Boys.
Jersey Boys, yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to put a through line in it doesn't work most of the time, whatever. Okay, so, but the weird thing is that Ian Anderson performs in his show about him,
Sure.
which is odd, but he doesn't play him.
Okay.
Yeah. So we get there, and there's 2,005 seats in this space. My wife's like, and 5? They had to include the and
Right.
5. I'm like, apparently. And it's a sold out show. And we get there, and it's at the Holland Center, and it's more an orchestral music
Sure.
event place, not a rock place. And so they start the show, and he comes out, and the first thing that happens is the screen pops up, giant projector, and we're all like, oh, cool, we get to watch it in HD. And instead, it's a movie of Ian Anderson. He comes out, and he starts, as like the narrator of his own show, starts to talk about his show, whatever, and then he closes up, and then one of the songs kicks up, the musicians come on stage, and everyone starts to hoot and holler who know the music, because apparently this is a song they know. I did not.
Right.
And so, my wife's excited, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So then it starts, and then when Ian Anderson is to begin singing, a guy, not Ian Anderson, appears on screen and starts singing. And so then it went woo! It's like, what's going on? And then there's a female accompaniment. Another person comes on screen. And so now we're watching a video of people singing the songs played to live music that is Jethro Tull's music. Then the flute solo comes up. Jethro Tull's known for
Sure.
being a flautist.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Anderson comes out and plays the flute. And then people are like, yay! Oh, so I see it was a fake. It was a feint to get us all nervous that he wasn't actually going to be there. And so then the lyrics come back in after his big solo and whatnot, and the guy on the screen starts to sing again. And I think it took everyone by surprise that it was not going to be Ian Anderson singing his songs. It was going to be some guy who sounds a lot like Ian Anderson, kind of looks like a younger version of him, but it was not him actually singing the song. And every once in a while he would break in and sing like a line or two. And then I think he did one song. But, I mean, the guy's in his 70s. And
Yeah. So is
good on him for recognizing he doesn't maybe have the vocal.
Yeah, but so he's an accompanist for his concert.
Yes, and narrator, and yeah, yeah, it was weird. And so we're there, and there was an intermission, and then Ian Anderson, the narrator on the screen, comes out and tells us to go out and buy all of their stuff, which was weird. So then we go out there, and my wife, who 20 years ago went and saw the show, got a T-shirt that she wears to bed every night.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'll buy you another shirt. She's like, I don't need another shirt. I'm like, I'm going to buy you a shirt.
Well, sure.
So I go there and I stand in line. The shirts are $30, cash only.
Mm.
I'm like, okay. So I'm standing in line, whatever. They got like 5 different shirts, and I eventually, like, which one do you want? She's like, I like that one. The one I'm wearing. Mm. And I'm like, I'll take this one in a medium. And he's like, that's the only one we have. And I'm like, oh, what about that other one? That's the only one we have. I'm like, what about, and that guy's taking that one down off the wall. They didn't bring any shirts. They didn't bring any souvenirs. They were running out of them left and right. So I'm like, all right, I'll take the first one that I liked. What size is that? And he's like, it's an extra large. And I'm like, I'm buying me a shirt.
And for people to know, Lindsay is not an extra large person.
Well, I just said a medium.
Right.
And she's wearing it to bed, so it's not flattering.
Although you could write.
So it's actually a large, not an extra large.
Oh, okay.
So
not as bad then.
Yeah.
I was gonna.
I can wear it.
You know, when I saw it, I'm like, that doesn't. Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, whatever. So yeah, that was fun. But we come back from the intermission, and you know, it's a sit down crowd.
Sure.
First off, no standing. They made an announcement that you're not allowed to stand.
Okay.
Until the very last song.
Oh.
Then you have to stand.
Mm.
No photography, video whatsoever. And they have people snapping them down. Just running out, snapping them down.
Dude, lighten up. What
the
heck?
Oh, yeah. Except for this one guy, like 3 rows in front of me, who's videotaping the entire freaking show, and nobody once stopped him. But yeah, like anytime anybody brought a camera up, you know, because they could see the giant freaking screen, I'm like, turn your brightness down, dumbasses.
Right.
Because I took a couple photos and a video.
And a video, yeah.
Yeah. So getting to that. So during intermission, we get back, and 2,005 seats. I'm looking around, and it's the oldest bunch of people I've ever seen.
There you go.
It is like,
well,
we could have solved the welfare or the senior social security problem by nuking that building. A lot of old people there, old hippies, and they're all, you know, nodding their head. They're enjoying the music.
Sure.
The 2 guys in front of me are enjoying the music. They are headbanging to Jethro Tull. For those of you who don't know the music of Jethro Tull, imagine your grandpa whistling and having a stroke at the same time. That's about as enthusiastic as Jethro Tull gets.
Right.
There is some rock guitar in it, barely. You know, there's some drumming, but that's to keep the beat. I wouldn't go. They did win the first rock album Emmy or not? What a Grammy? Grammy. First rock album actually went to Jethro Tull for Awful Long.
Okay.
But you know, little common trivia knowledge thingy.
Sure.
Yeah, but these guys were headbanging so hard to one song that Lindsay thought he would actually break the chair. And I look around and no one else is moving. This guy is just in the zone to the song. And so I took a short little Instagram video of it and posted it on my page, which is at Paul Pape on Instagram, of this guy just going balls to the wall to some Ian Anderson flouting.
Yeah, and you showed me that video, and I instantly thought of the Muppets, Animal, the drummer, that had, you know, and got the wild fur head. So, and I don't know how somebody can sustain that, because, you know, there's this Saturday Night Live skit from back whenever Will, what's his name? Will.
Yeah.
Him.
Mm-hmm.
That whole "What Is Love," the Hathaway song.
Yes.
And they do that thing with their head sideways. 2 seconds, and I'm already dizzy. I can't sustain that. So then you got this guy.
Ferrell.
Thank you, Will Ferrell. Cannot. You're what? How long is the video? It's not long.
14 seconds.
14 seconds.
But he did it for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I had enough time to laugh at the guy, stop, say, check out this one. My wife laughed at the guy. The people down the road laughing at the guy. And I'm like, I gotta get a video. And I'm like, as soon as you pull out the phone, and you know they got the swatters out there, and I'm like, oh, there ain't no way I'm gonna get it. I'm like, all right. I start taking the video, and he still kept going. I'm like, man. Yeah.
Yep.
No,
yeah.
He liked that show.
Well.
Then I was walking out. My friend there was working the show,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I think I know which guy you're talking about." I'm like, well, yeah, because there's a sea of 2,000 people there. He's the only guy like kind of rocking out, and I'm right behind him. And so I'm like, all right, man, I'll check later. And I'm going out, and we're still talking about this guy. I look behind me, and there he is.
There's the guy, yeah.
I'm like,
Did he hear?
No, dude.
Okay.
His pupils were so large. I'm surprised he could process light.
Okay. Mowing down a brownie as he exited.
Something. I think he macroed his microdose is what he did.
So can you buy those shirts online?
No.
Have you checked? You can't? Okay.
No.
Because sometimes you can.
Yeah.
I mean, Lindsay really wanted one.
She doesn't.
Okay.
She wanted the ability to go. So
there you go.
Anyways,
good. And the whole thing with the camera. I mean, a couple of years ago, we saw Brian and I saw Chicago at the Stir Concert Cove. The Stir is an outdoor venue. It's a small venue.
Tears for Fears is coming.
And that's right. And Chicago, they say right up front, you take all the pictures you want.
Yeah, it was actually Ian Anderson who said don't. And I think it's because it's the rock opera, because it's a theatrical performance. And maybe somebody out there who's a wonderful flautist will want to reproduce this.
Well, it's not like there's going to be some wonderful bootleg copy from a cell phone that'll hit the streets.
No.
Of course, so as bad as a review as this show is getting from you, the guy with the headbanging loved it, and is talking about what a great show it was.
Now here's the thing: he would also jump up at the end of every song, and give a standing ovation.
Yeah.
Him and his buddy, who had the biggest white afro I have ever seen. It was giant. I mean, I was like, so much so when he first sat down, I almost said impressive hair. But so he sat down. But every time he stood up, the guy in front of me, the headbanger, would stand up. When he went to sit back down, he was wearing a Pink Floyd shirt. Should have been my first thing. But I think it was a Pink Floyd shirt from 1970 something, and he got it when he was 4,
right?
Because it was short, and his pants were low. And my wife said you could insert an entire credit card into as much ass crack was showing from that guy.
Nice.
So every time he stood up, my wife's like, "Oh my god,
it's just wrong."
Not only do I have to watch you act like an idiot, I kind of look at your ass crack every single time you stand up. So yeah,
needed a squirt gun, so every time he did that, you just fire a little blast down there.
He wouldn't have noticed. He would walk down and he was like,
well, when he got home, I was like, did I pee myself? What the?
Am I coming down off some weird strep throat?
Sweaty butt crack. Yeah, exactly. Wow.
So
a lot of good concerts coming up this year here in the Nebraska area, Omaha, Lincoln. So and big acts. I mean, everybody figures Nebraska's out in the middle of nowhere, and I mean, so some of the acts, like Panic at the Disco, Weezer, they're going to be at the Stir. Down in Lincoln, you got Paul Simon, Ringo Starr and his all-star band. So I mean, big names. Yeah, those are some of the older ones. Panic at the Disco. I don't know, are they still relevant? I don't know, but my boys love Weezer. So yeah. So a lot of good acts worthy of seeing, and then a lot of current country stars that are going to be at the Stir. The Stir is a great venue because it's small. You sit outside.
That's all weather dependent, though. Man.
It is.
That's my big kicker. Like, I'm not a huge outdoorsman. If you can't tell by my pasty complexion.
Right. Well, neither am I. And I think I told you for the Chicago concert, you get in early. We took the lawn chairs down front. I mean, we're close. We sit the lawn chairs, literally 90-degree heat, and that part of the Stir was still in the sun. Just you were going to bake. So we put the chairs there, and we went back to there's a hill in the back, and we just sat on the hill because that was in the shade. And we sat there for about an hour until the show started and walked back down and sat in our chairs, which you can do in Omaha because nobody's going to bug you. Nobody's going to steal your chairs. I mean, it's, not going to do that in New York City to lose your spot in the chairs, but, or wherever, but.
Right. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. My wife said she'd go to Tears for Fears with me. So.
I kind of figured she would. I mean, it's,
But I don't know if I want to pay $100 to see Tears for Fears.
Is that how much the tickets are?
$50.
Oh, okay. $50, come on.
I don't know. So my problem is that I love their music. I hate people who sing the people's music that I paid $50 to see. I hate it so much that it makes me not go to concerts. So that's why I thought with the Jethro Tull thing, it's like, I won't give a shit because I don't know any of his music, But
nice. So
I went there and I'm like, sing along because I don't know what the hell he's talking about,
Sure.
And apparently he's not going to sing along either. So it doesn't matter.
I guess my experience though, outdoor concerts, those speakers are so loud. I mean, it's outdoors, so everything's going out into the air, and so whether it's Chicago, I saw REO Speedwagon, Chuck Berry. So yeah, I go see all the old people. But I mean, I don't recall the singing along being a.
The last time when I went to saw the Police, I'm like, I don't know how many times I asked the person behind me, who sings this? Like the Police. I'm like, can you let them?
Yeah, really. Let's keep it
because
that
I
way.
get this off-key drunk lady behind me screaming it in my ear, and I'm like,
So what about when the artists themselves just hold the mic out for you to sing that part? Yeah, you don't like that either. Okay. Yeah, it depends on how long that goes on. If it's too long, then like.
and I'm like, I'm not paying for these people to sing me the song. If I wanted a shitty rendition of this, I'd go sit in my car and sing along to it myself.
Go to a bar and do karaoke.
Yeah. No, I want it. And
So apparently this podcast is about concerts.
yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's really.
Yeah, brought to you by Ticketmaster and Live Nation.
Yeah. Or we'll take your money and not give it back.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so you know what? I wrote an intro
Did you?
to my own bit.
Do I take it we didn't hear from anybody?
Actually, we did.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. And I wrote it all down
Mm-hmm.
on my phone.
Where's your phone?
I don't know, Dave. Where is it?
Oh, it's sitting over there. Hello there.
So I'm
That's
like,
not very convenient.
that is not.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna write everything down so that I can reference it.
So it's not even in the cloud where you can get to it on your
I
computer.
mean, it might be.
Do I-
You can patter a little bit, Dave. There.
Patter?
You know, no, not that.
Oh.
Mass. God. I'm sorry. That's a theatrical term or a show term in which you generate extra
You just chat.
Yes.
Just
just
chat. Yes.
talk.
I knew what you meant. I just had to go for the
Jackass. So,
the part where I annoy you.
mission accomplished.
Oh, there we go.
So,
All right. So he is opening up. Apparently, a Starbucks. You got a good balance there on the card.
yeah, I do now.
Okay.
Thank
That's good.
goodness. No, I'm looking to. There's. Where are my notes? Damn it.
So real quickly then, as I create the pattern, so my improv class tonight, the one thing I'm hoping, because the last time when I did that, Michelle, the instructor, was not there on the first night, so they had some younger person who apparently thought she was all that in a bag of chips, and I mean, and I almost left because she was just at baptism by fire, saying, okay, here's what you're going to do, and I'm like, I'm not a public speaker.
Mm-hmm.
I almost got up and left. The only thing that kept my butt in that chair in that class was knowing that I told so many people that I was taking this improv. I told her I didn't want to bail because then you're a quitter, and I'm like, so I stuck it out. But and then Michelle just kind of steps you through it with each
Right.
class and lets you get used to that whole thing. But that first night just scared the living crap right out of me.
But see, now you're a seasoned pro.
Right, that's what I am.
One class.
Yeah, and I'm already talking about doing an intro where I talk about being an exotic dancer.
Yeah, right? So, okay.
I'll let you know how that goes.
All right, so get ready to lose another algebra equation that lived in your gray matter. It's time for another useless fact by Paul.
That's your intro?
Yeah, that's my intro.
Okay.
All right, Dave.
Yes, Paul.
Did you brush your teeth this morning?
Of course.
All right. What flavor do you use, Dave?
I have no idea.
Really?
Some fresh mint flavor.
Mint. Why do you use mint?
Because I like the flavor? I don't know.
See, most people don't know this,
Uh-huh.
but like mint, the flavor mint to give you fresh breath is actually it was created by an ad agency in the United States. Most countries don't even think mint is that fresh making.
That's fresh making?
Yeah. The use of mint for a breath freshener is actually a U.S. contrived ad thing, much like Santa Claus and Coca-Cola, diamonds and weddings. Yeah, but diamonds. By the way, people, diamonds.
Yes.
There's like 1,000% markup on diamonds. You can buy sandpaper and pay pennies for diamonds, but as soon as you say you want to put it in jewelry, even the sandpaper grade stuff, 1,000% markup. Only because of the wedding industry. But yeah, so mint flavoring is actually in a lot of different countries they don't like they use other things, so their toothpastes are not mint, some of them are bean or whatever.
Yeah, because that's pleasant as hell. What the?
But see, it's what we're used to. It's just how we are culturally.
So that's what we need is toothpaste in all those what is those jelly beans with the
every flavor beans.
with the vomit flavor and all that kind of.
Yeah, we need all those different flavored toothpastes. So you don't know what kind of toothpaste you're getting.
From one tube to the next, you don't know. Yeah.
The breath freshener.
And you got a whole tube of that stuff.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of wasted toothpaste.
Right.
So.
No.
A lot of people don't even use toothpaste. You don't technically need to. You just use baking soda.
True. I actually had so there was a dentist when I joined the Air Force that said you don't need to use that. And so when the drill instructor come through and they do this inspection, and in the Air Force, so you got this little drawer where you keep your soap, your toothpaste, your toothbrush. There's a towel laying in the bottom so everything looks nice and neat. And it's where you keep your shampoo, just everything. And so we would have a community tube of toothpaste that everybody just passed around so that your tube would remain untouched, because when you use it, it's got to be kept a certain way. You've got to squeeze from the bottom. It's got to look nice and puffed up and all that. Well, if you just don't use it, you're good to go. And so one of the drill instructors said, "What's the matter? Haven't you been brushing?" Yeah, and then we had to tell him what the dentist said, and he looked at us like we were crazy. And it's like, no, he said it. The dentist said you don't need the toothpaste, but we all do. I mean, it just gives you that fresh, mint flavor.
That's right. So, and yesterday I actually had, speaking of toothpaste, I had to show my children the proper amount of toothpaste because my kids, like most people, are influenced by visuals.
Sure.
Especially my children who can't read yet. So, on the package of the children's toothpaste, it has this giant swirl of toothpaste. Yeah. And my kids are notorious for, if they have a cap, and it's always a flip cap for kids because it's giant so they can open it. They'll open it like 3/4 of the way and then squeeze, and so it all goes up into the cap and then dries. And then I'm like, what the hell are you people doing? And they just squeeze with all their might, all their little kitty might.
The more the better.
Exactly, to get it out. And so I bought them one with this cool little trigger. If you pull the trigger quick enough, it puts out just enough. My little kids aren't strong enough to do it quick enough, so they just, and they like multi-trigger it. And I'm like, okay, can I show you how much toothpaste you need? So I pulled out the little brushes. And for adults who don't know this, here's a quick demo.
There you go.
Your toothbrush has a length and a width on the bristles, right?
Right.
Okay. So they have a length, which is usually about 3/4 of an inch to an inch. Okay. If your kid's toothbrush is shorter. On the width, it's always about 1/4 of an inch. Okay.
Okay.
The proper amount of toothpaste that you need is going across it widthwise, not lengthwise. But for advertising purposes, it's more visually appealing to go lengthwise, because then you're showing more of the product. But you don't need that much. You only need, what they say, a pea-size amount of toothpaste. So go across your bristles, not along your bristles.
So yeah, because what happens, because everybody goes lengthwise. It's what you do. It's what you know. And where does half of that within 20 seconds, where is half that toothpaste?
It's either falling off and into your mouth, or it's falling into the sink.
It's laying in the sink, because it just right out the side, and there you go. And
another thing is, you don't need to leave the water on while brushing your teeth.
Yeah, I don't do that.
I've never understood anybody who did that. I'm like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, my dad yelled at us enough that we didn't do that.
Yeah. My kids, I like to wet my toothbrush.
Sure.
Okay?
Right.
My wife, who grew up with a dental hygienist as a mother, it's like, why do you need to wet? Your toothpaste is not activated.
It feels better.
I'm like, I have dry mouth. I use dry mouth toothpaste. I'm like,
there is a different sensation to
that.
There's
totally a different sensation.
Absolutely. I'm with you.
Now, here's a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Are you a toothbrush in the shower person?
No.
Separate. You're a toothbrush in the sink person. You're like, there is no crossing that line.
I just never, I guess I never thought about it, but you're going to use a lot more water standing there brushing your teeth in the shower than you are at the sink.
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife is a toothbrush in the shower person. And I don't, she doesn't use it to wet her brush. So
yes, she does. She just doesn't do it on purpose.
She just steps into the shower, and I'm like, and then, you got to spit into the drain and whatnot, and I'm rinse out your toothbrush, and I'm like.
So, Paul, are her toes minty fresh?
I don't know.
Or do you?
No, I don't know. She doesn't like her toes, so I don't go near her. So.
Okay. Huh.
Yes. So there you go.
No, I don't shave in the shower either.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
No.
This is all that takes. That's just a lot of water going down the drain. Yeah.
I'm not to the point where I like get wet, turn off the water, lather, turn back on the water.
Oh Lord, no, the water's running the whole time.
That's the California way because they have no water.
Oh yeah. That would suck.
Totally.
Because when you turn that back on,
it's cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not going to be a comfortable.
No.
No. Yeah. So what I hate, and you experience that because there are times, for whatever reason, it doesn't happen very often. I'll turn off the water, I'll grab the towel, and I realize I've not rinsed the shampoo out of my hair. So then I've got to turn it back on, and that first blast, it's gonna be cold. So I need that.
So there you go. Hope that was worth losing an algebra equation for.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you, Paul.
You're welcome, Dave.
It's a much better intro than the little thing I gave you last week. Right? I'll own that.
So, Dave,
Paul,
what's new in This Week in Music?
This week in music, although I should have gone with Jethro Tull. I don't think I did that last week.
You didn't?
I didn't. I didn't do it this week either.
For shame.
I know. At my age, I need reminders. I didn't have one. But, so yesterday, and this is, I gave this because I didn't know this guy, but apparently he was somebody.
Mm-hmm.
David Allen Guest, G-E-S-T.
Yes.
Yep, didn't know.
Big music producer.
Yep, died yesterday, April 12th. So, I'm going to read this because I didn't know this guy. But you learn, it sounds like most of his stuff was over in the UK, even though it says he was an American entertainer, producer, and television personality. So, then it also says he produced the highest rated musical television special in history. That was in 2001. It was Michael Jackson 30th anniversary celebration of the solo years. So big deal, and which was the last reunion of Michael and his brothers in 17 years, and he also took care of Jackson's last solo concerts.
Oh.
Now,
Yes.
on top of that,
Yes.
he was the first American to have 3 primetime series in the UK.
Oh.
He appeared on more than 100 shows on UK television. He was also, for about a year and a half, he was married to Liza Minnelli. Poor bastard.
Why did they get divorced?
Why? I don't know.
They got divorced because of spousal abuse.
By her.
She beat the hell out of him.
She looks like somebody beat the hell out of her.
There you go.
There you go.
We know
Poor
who
guy.
wore the pants.
Poor bastard, yeah. What else? Okay, he worked with Cliff Richard, which was never really big here in the States. He's a 70s kind of artist.
Okay.
Huge over in the UK. So, and then he toured. So in September 2015, toured the UK. And these are all older artists, if you will.
Sure.
But played, it was called David Guest, I've Had the Time of My Life Tour. It featured Bill Medley of the Righteous Brothers, Denise Williams, Peabo Bryson. Billy, you don't know that name?
No.
Billy Paul, I'm sure you're not going to know that name.
No.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, he did that.
Oh, okay.
Dorothy Moore, she did a song called Misty Blue. Frida Payne, do you know her?
Nope.
Band of Gold. Now that you've gone, all that's left is a band of gold.
No.
Now that you're gone. Okay.
Okay, maybe.
All that's left is a band of gold.
Okay, yeah, I think my mom used to listen to that.
Right, it's 70s. Gregory Abbott, another 80s guy. The Times, that was like
I know the
60s.
Times.
Okay, yeah. And then C.C. Peniston from the 90s. Finally, it has happened
Oh,
to
yeah,
me.
okay, yeah.
That's C.C. Peniston.
See, the thing is, I'm horrible with names.
Yeah.
Really good with music.
And people would say I'm horrible with singing, but you know.
Well, there's that. But then again, so am I, so
But,
it works.
but it was good enough for you to at least know who I was talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah. See, because I'm like, I'm horrible with names. Like, I couldn't tell you artists for the life of me, but sure, if I know music name, that's interesting.
Yeah, so there you go.
So, sorry, David Guest.
Yeah.
Did you hear that somebody, one of his, like a UK celebrity had a, I'm sure it was accidental as she put it, but she had a shirt on her website which says, David is dead.
Wasn't that a tour or something that they did?
It was a while ago,
Okay.
yes. But it happened to jump to the front of her store page.
Probably not good.
Right after.
Ah.
Accidentally, and then was immediately pulled.
Well,
after
sure.
some people were like, maybe not so cool.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe not in the best of taste. Yeah, really.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Now it's time for Dave's shitty joke of the week.
My favorite parts. Awesome. You'll love them, Paul, like you always do. So, Paul,
Dave!
where do you find a legless turtle?
I don't know, Dave. Where do you find a legless turtle?
Right where you left him. Ah. So Paul.
Dave?
Hey, why did the Cyclops shut down his own school?
I don't know, Dave. Why did the Cyclops shut down his own school?
Because he only had one pupil. We need a cricket sound in there. He only had one pupil.
Oh!
There you go.
No.
Hey, welcome back.
That's horrible.
You scared me. I think I whipped myself.
No, it's me anymore. All right.
Has Paul been sitting here? Sure, yeah, that's what it is. It's Paul.
Alexa, tell us a joke.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Kanye. Kanye who? Kanye believe it? I tell jokes too.
I was listening to or reading bad Harry Potter jokes.
Okay.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Do you remember the bad Harry Potter joke?
Give me a second.
It's kind of like when we had our guest John a year or so ago, and he told the joke and forgot the punchline.
Right. Oh, okay, there it is. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
The one.
The one who.
Yes.
Jeez.
See, it's Voldemort is
Right.
Just as bad as Sirius. Or not even Sirius, Alexis. Get on
No
my
wonder,
women
no wonder we get
confused.
the bad joke. You insult her by calling her Siri.
I know.
Oh well.
It's okay.
Should we wrap this up?
I get my wife's name right.
That's big. Yeah.
I'm Paul Pape of Paul Pape Designs. You can find me anywhere that there is the Paul Pape.
Well, thank you, Paul. I'm Dave Duvall. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook.
And apparently exotically dancing for old people.
Boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom.
You. All right. So you can find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/Tales from the Front Porch, where you can see a lot of our photos and tweets and Instagram photos, and pretty much everything just kind of culminates onto Facebook because that's where the old people go. But we are also on Twitter, which is Tales Front Porch. We're on Instagram at Tales Front Porch. We're on the web itself at talesfromthefrontporch.com and talesfrontporch.com and daveandpaul.com or paulanddave.com. All goes to the same place.
Oh, so you actually linked all those. I thought you just created the URLs. Okay.
No.
All right, you're using them.
Well, yeah.
Awesome.
People don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can just go find us there. And on that website, you can find all past 126 episodes, including this one. If you're listening to this and you're at this point, it's
Right.
past. And then we also are on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, other places.
Maybe someday we will be on.
No.
No?
We're never going to be that popular.
Okay.
No. Not until
Well,
they're
not with
scraping-
that attitude.
Not until they're scraping the bottom of the barrel, Dave.
That's-
And then they pick up the planks at the bottom of the barrel and then dig in the dirt below that and dig about 4 feet. Then maybe.
What's that? That's Dave and Paul. Don't worry about that.
So yeah. And then lastly.
What's that wet spot? Oh,
Yeah,
that's Paul.
That's Paul. So this is the 5th videoed episode.
Awesome.
And so this is the last free one that we're going to put up on our YouTube page.
Okay.
Okay. And then after this, we're going to move to Patreon. So
Patreon?
Patreon.
Okay.
Patreon. We'll talk about more of that
Okay.
next week.
All right.
And then basically what that's going to allow us to do is allow us to help pay for some of this because taint free. Buying.
He just said taint.
Did not. I'm all dry. Sweat it all out. But basically, Patreon will allow us to. The podcast is still free. It's always going to be free.
Right.
Okay. We're never going to charge you for the podcast. We do this for fun.
And
you
we
guys
ask
listen
you to not charge us to listen.
Yeah, so we appreciate it. But the video takes some time and whatnot. And the whole point is the video is, just, honestly, should be free. I mean, it's just basically a video recording of the podcast. But we're going to put it on the Patreon. And if you subscribe and help us through Patreon, become a patron to our show by whatever means you want. It could be a nickel a show. We don't care. Okay, but basically that money will help. And every time that we drop an episode, it'll be like once a week or whatever, it just charge you a nickel. I think it's $1 minimum is what it is. But through that site, you'll also be able to be the first to purchase Tales from Front Porch themed stuff, which Dave and I have some things down the pipeline, which will be really kind of cool. One of the things that will be there is, because we're almost at the end of the maximum amount of free Dave and Paul figures. that'll be created. So that will be available. That'll be one of the things that you can purchase there for a discount. And so if you guys give us money by being our patrons, you'll receive a discount on products that we'll have available, which will also be available on our website for full amount. So you're giving us money to be able to get a discount later. So it's like getting stuff over time. So I mean that's how it's going to work out. But we got some big plans for little Dave and Paul and our adventures.
Little Dave and Paul.
No. We're Dave and Paul.
Oh Lord.
Anyways.
So do I get a Dave and Paul? Because the one I have, I no longer have.
No, that one's flying around the world. Yes, you get one.
All right, just checking.
So greedy. Do I get one?
I demand. I don't know. Are you gonna make one?
See, and that's the thing.
Okay.
I don't want
All right.
I want somebody to make it for me. That it?
Good luck with that. I think that's it.
All right, cool. Take us out, Hal.
The stories you just heard were true, told as they may seem. And while our time here has ended, the well is far from dry. Tune in next time for more Tales from the Front Porch.
Yeah, I like that one better.